Today we're talking about the hidden costs of overspending. Now, we all know it hurts our wallets, right? Makes sense. But there's also a lot of other hidden costs. So today we're going to go over 11 of the hidden costs and then how to break the cycle of overspending. All right, that sounds good? Then stay with me. So, hi, I'm Eva, and I'm in debt, no savings, no retirement, and absolutely no business giving financial advice. But here we are. So, personal finance needs more honesty and less shame. So, if you're tired of being judged for having debt, hit subscribe, download my free debt payoff printable, and join the Fierce Rich Money community. All right, so let's get right into it. Number one, the obvious cost is debt. All right, so first we need to talk about the most obvious cost of overspending, and that's debt. When you spend more than you earn, you often have to rely on credit cards or loans to cover the gap. It might seem harmless at first, just a small little balance here and there, but debt can quickly spiral out of control, and it's the interest on the credit card debts that are notoriously high. And if you're making just the minimum payment, you end up paying far more than the original purchase price. So $100 splurge could end up costing you over $200 over time. Number two, the emotional toll, stress and anxiety. Overspending leads to financial strain, triggering worry and anxiety. It can lead to feelings of guilt, regret, and even shame. You might start worrying about how you're going to make ends meet, which will then affect your sleep and your relationships and your overall well-being. The emotional cost of overspending is something we don't often talk about, but it is very real, and you and I know that. And it can be just as damaging as the financial cost. And let's face it, we all have that feeling when, we swipe our credit card and your heart sinks because it's like, is it going to go through? Is it going to go through? Yeah, we've all been there. And again, there is no shame here. We can talk about it openly. Relationships under pressure. Financial disagreements are among the top causes of breakup and divorces. Overspending can cause resentment, arguments, and damage trust between couples and family members. I had friends of mine who I love dearly, and that was the main reason for the divorce. She was the saver, he was the spender, and it just spiraled. And, which is really too bad because they're both so wonderful people, but he just needed to get his act in gear. All right, number four, opportunity cost. Every dollar you overspend is one less dollar towards retirement, emergency funds, or investments. You're missing out on bigger long-term goals because of immediate gratification. You are no longer saving for a vacation or a retirement or a down payment for a house. You're now spending everything pretty much on interest rates on credit cards. Impact on your credit score. So it can usually lead to higher debt, lower credit scores, and higher interest rates that you try to keep up with. And what a poor credit score means is that you're going to be paying more in interest when you go for a loan, say on a car, or try to get a mortgage, and you will literally spend thousands over your lifetime. Credit card companies love when you overspend because they make money. So think about that. Number six, clutter and waste. Impulse purchases lead to cluttered homes, closets filled of unused items. Mental clutter from owning too much can lead to decreased productivity and unhappiness. I've said it a million times. I get overwhelmed when I'm in a room with too much clutter. And I remember once having to have a discussion with my mother over gifts. And Obviously, a gift is a nice thing. However, it would be stuff I would never use and don't want. So I did have to have the discussion like, don't get me anything. Like, don't. I'd rather you not buy me anything. Actually, I'd rather you give me the cash, but I would rather you not buy me anything at all because it's just something I'm going to feel guilty about throwing away. Reduced financial flexibility. Oh, that's number 7. Um, Overspending leaves you little to no room for emergencies. You know what? A sudden medical bill, unexpected expense, needing a new headlight for your German car that costs a lot of money because it's a whole big project. And then you have to borrow or use high interest credit cards when these things happen, and suddenly or not suddenly, you're in a bigger financial hole. And before you know it, that small unexpected expense becomes a major financial crisis. And you also need to remember, most people who get into like really bad debt, it's not because like they were bad with money or just like, oh, I need new shoes, although that does happen. For a lot of us, it was something beyond our control, like a job loss, and then car issues, and then who knows what else. So that's usually what it is. It's a lot of times what it is, I should say, that it was some big thing that you weren't expecting. Number 8, health costs. Stress induced health issues from financial strain are real. You know what? Insomnia, headaches, depression, even some chronic illnesses. So, overspending on unhealthy habits, fast food, alcohol, impulsive indulgence can lead to long term health costs. All right, so yeah, think about that. Like, you then will, I'm trying to think, what is it? Not trying to like self soothe with shopping, alcohol, or something else. Career and productivity costs. Financial stress affects your job performance. You can have difficulty concentrating, lower productivity, higher absenteeism, and this is advance potential career advancement opportunities missed due to stress and distraction from financial worries. There's also the issue if you get a work credit card that just for work, not for shoes, they pull your credit report. And if you have bad credit, like, it's embarrassing. You then have to have the company co-sign, and it's actually really embarrassing for the person. I mean, it happens. Hopefully you work for a company that doesn't shame you for that. So, because I know that comes across my desk, and I just think, you know, I hope they get their act together the way I am. So, number 10, the influence on children and family. So, overspending behaviors often get passed down. So, teaching kids poor financial habits, you've just continued the cycle. So, family dynamics can shift negatively due to money stress, leading to conflicts and misunderstanding. So, if you're a parent, we need to teach our kids like how to save and all those, how to be financially responsible. And I know I've got my financial issues right now. However, my son and I discuss it, and he has his savings. Even he's got a debit card that allows you to buy stocks. So that's something he's learning about. And obviously he doesn't just do it, like, he and I discuss it and we go from there, but he's learning all about it thanks to mommy and her YouTube channel. Social and peer pressure costs. Spending money you don't have to impress people who probably aren't even noticing or don't care. The hidden pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle can be seriously damaging to not just your finances, but your well being. And it turns out, like, do you really want to hang out with people who are only there to see what you buy or to see, any of that? Like, think about that. Is that a friend? Are they listening to you when you tell them, like, I can't do X, Y, and Z because I don't have the funds for it right now? Are they going to judge you and shame you for not being able to do it? If they do, guess what? They ain't your friend. So that's something you really, really, really need to think about. And you know what? We're going to cover that in other videos. I think I already did cover it in one or two, but we'll continue covering that because that's a really major thing. We went through the 11 ways overspending is not a good thing. So how do we break the cycle? All right, step one, with so many problems in life, it's awareness. So just knowing that it's an issue is really life-changing. Step two, commit to change. Take a close look at your spending habits. Look for areas where you can reduce or cut. Stick to a budget. Focus on your financial goals. And remember, it's not about depriving yourself. It's about making better choices that align with your values and long-term objectives. The bottom line is overspending isn't just about the money you're spending today. It's about the hidden costs that can like rob your future. By being mindful of these hidden costs, you can make smarter financial decisions and set yourself up for success in the long run. Like, that's really the important thing, is we want to set ourselves up for success. All right. So that's what we want to do. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Let's flip the script. And instead of overspending on stuff, we overspend on things like joy, freedom, peace. How's that? I think that's a good thing. When you're not massively in debt, things are more joyful. You have more freedom to do stuff you want to do, and you have peace so you can sleep at night and just feel calmer and not like when you get that email and you see it's from the credit card company and it's like, oh God, right? You won't have that when you stopped overspending. So I think those are really good ideas. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next one.